Okay, hi Amelie.
Hi.
Welcome, thanks for chatting to us today.
It's my honour.
Great. So I'd love to just start by getting a bit of your story, a bit of like your background and how you started singing.
How did I start singing? Well, my mum would say that I didn't necessarily sing as a child, I just screamed. And she's like, it's a miracle you can sing. And I just always sang as a kid. She put me into choir and I just loved like all the princess movies and the Barbie movies that had singing and had like Phantom of the Opera on DVD. And I was like, oh, this is cool, this is a vibe. And then I auditioned for a special interest music school back home in Adelaide and I got in, and kind of the rest is history. That school changed the entire course of my life, and now I'm here at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which is absolutely wild because it's been a dream for a very long time.
Wow, amazing. That's so good to hear. And yeah, we're kind of midway, I think tomorrow, through the festival. How many shows have you done so far?
I think I'm on to, I think I've done 12, and so now today is 13, I think.
Wow. Yeah, it's...
Where am I? What day is it?
Yeah, it's getting to that point.
It is that point, yeah.
Kind of like in the middle of a whirlwind experience. We're meeting people and just being like, this is a check-in, how are you feeling?
My bedtime is 3 a.m. at the moment, so yeah.
Yeah, because you're a late show.
I am a later show, so 9:20 p.m. It's an hour, but like all the adrenaline, and then people want to meet for drinks afterwards, which is great fun. And then like I like to walk it off coming home, and then I can't go to sleep straight away. So
I know it well. Yep.
got to let the adrenaline run out. And also being from Australia, you need the time to check in with fam back home, and they're awake.
True. So do you have a team with you here, or did you bring the show over on your own?
This is a very good question. So I feel like you need a bit of context for this.
Please.
So do you know that the Adelaide Fringe is the second largest fringe in the world?
Yes.
Okay, so I've done Adelaide Fringe for years and I love it. It's my baby, it's my home, that's my life. And I've always idolised the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. So at Adelaide Fringe, there are two big venue hubs called Gluttony and the Garden of Unearthly Delights.
Love.
Which are like the equivalent of the big ones here.
Got you.
So it's on a very much smaller scale, and then they have these networking events. And at every single networking event, there's an opportunity to meet different delegates from around the world, meaning like producers, directors, venue managers, like you name it, they're there. And upon the course of those 4 weeks, I managed to negotiate with the incredible venue hub Gilded Balloon, with the amazing Katie and Karen Corrin, a full season here as a debuting international artist. Like I've never performed here before, and I managed to negotiate that. Even I'm like, what? And so, yeah, for context, this doesn't happen. Yeah. Like it doesn't happen. And so I managed to negotiate that and build like a new foundation and a home here in Scotland. And also I met Jared Harford from Interactive Theatre International through the networking event. And basically he said, if you book Gilded, I'm in. So I booked Gilded and then he said, I'm in. And now I'm here. So am I here with a team? I arrived on my own, but I very much so feel like I have a team around me. I mean, I've got like Hannah in the room. Sorry, I looked over there. I meant to look at you.
That's so fine, yeah. We have Hannah in the room.
Yeah. And so I've got some people around me who are like so supportive and so encouraging of the show that I've brought here. Sing or sing, sing or sing. And it's been a ride. Like I would say yes and no. It depends on the hour of the day. Sometimes I'm on my own, sometimes I'm not.
It's nice that you've kind of got this like community around you with the venue that you've found.
Yeah, 100%. That is a very good point you've just pointed out there. The Gilded community is incredible. I've made so many friends. Like when you're backstage and you have a time slot, the people who are around that time slot, whether they're before you, same time or after, they become your family because you're there every single day and you do the whole chat before and after, how are you going, it's check-ins. And like the first couple days that I was here, I baked cookies and I brought them in for everyone, and they had hundreds and thousands on them. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like in Australia, it's like a really common thing. And they're like, oh my God, how'd you find time? And I was like, I don't have time, but I made it.
Oh, that's so good.
And it was a really wholesome, cute little moment. So I think there's a bit of, camaraderie amongst the other performers in Gilded Balloon.
And that gets you through this kind of like marathon experience, right?
It is a marathon.
Is the Fringe for you been like a kind of boot camp for the piece, or was it already fully built when you brought it here?
Oh, good question. The piece itself was reworked since Adelaide Fringe. And what happened was it originally was performed with a three-piece band, and to make it more tour friendly, I made backing tracks with an incredible guy called Craig Bryant from Praxis Productions in Melbourne.
Great.
Brilliant composer, and I sent a very meticulous spreadsheet with very clear points that I wanted, because it's me, and he created this incredible soundtrack to the show. And there are 10 songs. They're all entirely original. Think like music theatre vibes, but like pop too. We love a bit of Wicked. Yeah. And then from there, I also worked with a dramaturg. His name is Ben Nicholson, and he's from back home in Adelaide, but he also used to be in Melbourne, and he was brilliant. He taught me about a story arc. Okay. So unknowingly, like, I write a story arc, but I don't know it.
Yeah, it's kind of in it, like...
Yeah, he's like, you've done it, but you don't know it. It's weird. But he said that politely. Yeah. And so it got written. The challenge for me coming here was learning it.
Right.
So the songs were done, and the songs are really hard. So I'm a vocal coach, so like I'm analysing the song and teaching it to myself, which is wild. And then they're pretty solid, but the actual bits in between, I had to like learn it while I was here. Right. And the biggest thing that made me nervous about Scottish audiences was like, it's very funny. It's very like Aussie comedy. And I was so nervous that it wasn't gonna land. And they get it. They are losing their marbles over the content. And I was just like, thank you.
Yeah, I guess that's a good question. It's like, how have you found that like switch of audience?
I love the Scots.
Amazing.
I love the Scots. You guys go off. You're so loud. You're so vocal. You love a daiquiri before coming in. Gilded Balloon. They do them downstairs in the pink bar, and I highly recommend it. It's also pink and cute, and you can get photos. It's aesthetic. It's a whole thing. And the girlies come in with a daiquiri. They're ready to go, and they sing their hearts out. And I'm obviously biased. Like, I love my show. But by the end of it, it's an interactive singing lesson. And by the end of the show, I don't have to do anything. The girlies already are singing the hooks by the time we get to the last song, which is coincidentally called Fairy Bread, which has hundreds and thousands, which is the thing we talked about before.
Amazing. God, you're good at a tie-in. You're a pro. I love that. What makes Edinburgh Fringe special?
Oh, I mean, you got to start with the architecture. Like,
sure,
it looks like Harry Potter land. I mean, that's pretty exceptional. And then there's a castle that you can see in the city. That's pretty cool. I would say, like, the food and the culture and the energy and the love and the fire and just the sheer size of this beast of a festival. Like they say, you know, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. I think if you can make it in Edinburgh, you can make it anywhere. I'll tell you that. That is a tough slog. And it's incredible to be surrounded by all these artists from around the world in one hub. And in particular, like Gilded Balloon, they support a lot of women in the arts. And so I've met so many incredible women with incredible stories. And it's all pink and aesthetic and it's cute and it like matches the like branding. And so if anyone's seen the Sink or Sing branding, it's very like cutesy and like Chanel core, like it's on a budget.
Nice.
We can't afford that.
Nice. So your career, you said you're a vocal coach.
Sure am.
And a singer yourself. Like talk us through kind of the early days of your career and how it got to building this show.
Oh my gosh, okay. How long we got? That's the question. Okay.
A tight 30, yeah.
Let me take you back to the very beginning. A very good place to start. So I started with the screaming, and then that progressed to choir, called the Australian Girls Choir, and then I went to a school called Marrickville High School back in Adelaide, which is a special interest music school, and I got in on a scholarship. And I loved singing, and what did I do after that? Oh, I went to university.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Remember that?
Yeah. Probably spent too much time in the uni bar, really. Just wiped that from my memory. So went to uni and I studied classical. So like opera, like full on opera. I would have loved to have done music theatre. The reality is that at the time, they didn't have a course in Adelaide. I wasn't in a position to go interstate, and I can't dance. So as much as I like to think I can dance, give me enough liquid courage, I'm anyone's. But my friends, as much as they love me, they will reaffirm that you can't dance. No matter how strong I think I am.
So no Dancing with the Stars?
Yeah, no Dancing with the
future,
Stars,
no.
Absolutely not. In my brain, I think I'm the best. Too much confidence.
That's what you need.
So that's it. Yeah, you know what? Go hard or go home. That's my mentality. So after that, I went to uni, and then here's the magic. All right, this is a story that's going to blow your mind. I was desperate for a job, couldn't get one anywhere, and I applied for like hundreds of jobs. I was bringing in my CV, doing everything I could, and I was studying at uni at the same time. I was finishing up my last year.
Yeah.
And then I even tried for Costco. I couldn't get a job there, and my boss / vocal coach at the time, she was actually my referee for that interview. And I remember I was drunk at the uni bar when she called. She's like, "Hey, they just called us." Anyway, didn't get the job. That sucked. Here's the magic. My friend sent me a Gumtree advert. A friend sent me a listing that just said jazz singer wanted for Adelaide Fringe. No audition brief, nothing, just that. And I was like, screw it, I've got nothing to lose. Sends it to me, and I message the girl. We meet for a coffee. And she's like, okay, she's younger than I, so I was 21 at the time. And I had no clue how the Fringe worked. I was just like, whatever, I just need a job. And she was just like, okay, cool, have you got something for me to listen to? And I go, no. And I was like, but I promise I can sing. And she's like, okay. And then the next time we caught up, I sang for her at the uni. And she's like, cool, you got the gig. We ended up touring to Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, and New York City in 1 year.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep. And all it said was jazz singer wanted for Adelaide Fringe.
That's so good.
That's it. So naturally, I thought that's just how easy it is. You know, you just apply for Gumtree ads and now you're here.
Just straight out of uni, big break.
Yeah,
just
that's
like
just
that.
that. Yeah.
No.
So that was my introduction to the Fringe, and the rest is history from there. We came back from that tour, had some fun times in Vegas, and we decided to create me and some other girls from the cast, we created a show called Cabernet, the Cabaret, which went on at a place called the Adelaide Convention Centre.
Amazing.
Unknown to us, small fries. That's like quite a big venue to be in at 22.
Wow.
And this is the blind confidence that I'm talking about.
Yeah,
here.
I'm hearing that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of confidence.
A lot of big breaks.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, in small doses across, but you know, compound interest.
Yes.
That's a thing. And I think persistence is key.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, you're right. There's like some big breaks in there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we did that at the convention centre for 2 years. And then we moved to, then it was COVID. And during those shows, my mates were always like, you need to do your own show. And I was too scared. I didn't feel ready. I didn't feel confident enough in myself. I was like, who am I to be putting on a show? Who do I think I am? You know, all those questions we ask ourselves as artists. So there's a lot of self-doubt amongst that confidence. And I was just like, screw it. One day I decided to write a show called Retail Reality, and it was based on my days at Pandora, which is like a jewellery brand.
Yeah.
And I used to work at like a bougie shopping centre called Burnside in Adelaide. And it was all about the customers. And I loved my time at Pandora. I thought it was great. And I think that's why I'm good at sales now, which has landed me the gig here.
There you go.
So cheers to my retail days. So I wrote Retail Reality, ended up in Gluttony, which is one of the venue hubs.
Okay.
And I think I only got in there because at the time it was COVID, so no international acts were coming in, which meant I had a bigger chance of getting in as a no-name.
Yeah.
And I did, and then I got COVID and I had to cancel half the season. So that sucked. And then, yeah, I didn't get in for a couple more years after that and just persisted. And then I wrote the show that we have here today called Sink or Sing.
So Sink or Sing, how did that come together? What was that coming from for you?
So I was at a bit of a low in my life when it all got written. I was, and this is going to sound so ridiculous, and I can hear it now, I was in LA for vocal coaching, which I know it sounds crazy, but I promise you it's not as glamorous as you think. And I know I'm privileged to say that, but I was sitting there and I was so miserable. I was like, what am I doing with my life? Like, what do I actually want? And I was like, okay, here's what gives you joy. Here's what makes your heart sing. And I figured out that I love vocal coaching. I can't let that go. And like, for example, I had one of my babies. She's not a baby. She's like 20 now. But like, she came to the show. Yeah. And she was here on the other side of the world. And just to be a part of someone's journey, I think is the most special thing. And she's auditioning for music theatre schools and all of that. So I knew I couldn't let that go. And I knew that I was really good at performing. So I was like, okay, how do I put the two together? And then I was also like, okay, you're really good at songwriting too. Even though I was like, am I good at songwriting? I was like, nah, you can write a tune. My lyrics suck sometimes, but like, melodically, I can do that.
You've got it in you.
Yeah, that's it, the
Yeah.
confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So I put all of them together and I went, all right, what doesn't exist? Because we're in showbiz. And I was like, okay, what's something I can offer audiences that doesn't exist? So I created that. Now, as a little backstory, when I was doing Retail Reality and Gluttony, I realised that I was in a very privileged position to be teaching well-off students who could afford expensive tuition fees, and that the arts was mainly only accessible on a big scale, industry scale, to those who come from money. Now, as a kid who did not, that rubbed me up the wrong way, and I was like, I don't like that. And I really noticed that there was, how do I word this? I noticed a gap, I suppose. And I wanted to fill that gap. I wanted to create something that was accessible for not just people who knew where to find like a high level of education or arts education. I wanted to create something that could bring people together and get them an opportunity to a high level of education in a short amount of time that is affordable. And so that really drove a lot of what I do. And so I was like, okay, adults, girlies, choir, that's where I started. That's my roots. And I was like, how can I bring choir back, but not like lame choir, like cutesy choir? Because, like, I get it. I love it. No shade. I love choir. But there's a stigma, let's be real. Bringing back choir in a 60-minute, like, fun, girly, empowering show that gives people an opportunity to tap back into what they once loved when they were young.
Yeah.
And then there's this big, a common word that's been used is like a poignant?
Poignant? Yeah.
There's a penguin moment at the end of the show that basically ties in a series of life lessons, because singing lessons are essentially a metaphor for life lessons.
Wow, okay.
And the show goes through a bunch of trials and tribulations that I've experienced in my 20s. And at the end of the day, I come up with this metaphor that fairy bread is kind of like life. And at the end of the day, we get given, very rarely are we given a full luxury bakery spread. We generally get given a cheap piece of toast. Well, it's actually not toast. We get white bread, cheap margarine, and chaos. And it's our responsible to add the sprinkles. And like, don't get me wrong, like, life's not fair. Some people get handed a full crayon set and a paintbrush, and other people get given a scrunched up napkin and a chewed up pencil stub. And then, of course, there are like exceptions where we've got people who've grown up in poverty or family trauma, systemic racism, and they matter, they're important. But this metaphor of fairy bread, it still stands. You've got to work with what you've been given. And that is the entire metaphor of this show, because it's saying don't sink when life gets hard. Sing.
Amazing.
And that is the point of Sink or Sing.
Great. Once again, beautiful tie-in.
Thank you. She's a storyteller.
Yes. Oh, well, it sounds great. And this is your first Edinburgh Fringe.
It is.
And to other first-time performers thinking about bringing a show here, what would your advice be? 3 top tips, maybe.
If you are a first-time performer coming from Australia, I would say my recommendation is come suss out the festival before actually taking your work here. I did that, and I only came here for 2 days, and I know it's hard to come here just on a whim. You know, make a trip out of it, go to Europe, go to London, do something. But just suss out the festival to see if you're really up for it, because nothing can prepare you for the sheer size of what this is. You are competing against 3,000 other shows, and it is grueling, it is tough, and it is a marathon. So I would first suss if you even like it. And also the flight, like, it's a long way to fly. Have you flown to Australia before?
Never.
Don't do it.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Just don't go.
Oh, unless it's for the Adelaide Fringe Festival. It's a long flight, and you'll really find out who you are on that flight. So I would suss it out. And then if you're thinking of bringing a show, I would recommend, if you're coming from Australia, trial it at the Adelaide Fringe Festival. They also have it depends on what your art is. They also have like the Melbourne Comedy Festival. There's Perth World Fringe. There's so many other ones that you can do. I would trial it there before making the leap to come to Edinburgh. Because when you come here, the time that you're going to need, like perfecting your show, you're not going to have that luxury. You need to know what it is so you can go on that stage right away, and you can focus on all the other aspects prior to doing that, because there's just no time.
And everything else that goes into it, you can think about that.
Yeah,
after
like
the show is ready.
admin, production, meeting people afterwards, flyering's a massive thing over here.
The funding.
And like just the money to get here as well, as it's very expensive.
Yeah.
Everything's double the price being Australian. And also just living, like knowing where you're going to live, navigating the city, knowing how to get from A to B, just really simple things, because that's going to take you about a week just to get your head around, let alone the show. And if you're coming straight with jet lag, you need to factor that in as well. So this is why I'm like, come first without the pressure of a show and then do it. Another alternative, sorry to butt in,
Go on.
is free fringe. You can also come here and do the free fringe, so then that takes the pressure off of you with like needing to make tickets and things like that, and you can still perform. Yeah, that would be my advice.
We're going to wrap up with like a fun little quick fire. So as quick as you can, answer the following.
Okay.
So for you, favourite song to sing in the shower?
The first one that came to mind was Defying Gravity.
Stunning.
100%. Cynthia Erivo version though.
Nice. Favourite song to sing in the car?
Favourite song? You're the Voice by John Farnham.
Okay.
Aussies, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't think I do,
You're
but
the voice, try
noted.
and understand it. It's got the bagpipes in it. If anything, this is on brand for
Whoa.
Scotland.
That's huge. A pop song with the bagpipes in it, that's massive. Song to cry to?
Someone Like You, Adele.
Sure, love it.
Never mind, I'll find someone like you.
And favourite meal you've had while you've been here?
Ooh, favourite meal. What did I have? Can I do a dessert instead?
Oh yeah. Totally.
Okay, so I had Tonic's tea cakes.
Oh,
I like them, but I like the chocolate ones, like the dark chocolate ones. Apparently not many people have that one.
Yeah, no,
But the
that's not the
chocolate's
classic.
harder on it than the milk one. So anyway, that's
There you go.
my 2 cents on that.
Nice. And least favourite thing you've eaten since you've been here?
Oh, I had what's it called when it's the slice? Like the, it's Scottish, and I had it today, and it's like all condensed milk, and it's sugar, and it's like the tablet.
Weirdest thing you've seen at the Fringe so far?
Weirdest thing.
Can be a performance, flyer, anything.
Okay, so I was on Chambers Street, which is where Sink or Sing is, every single night at 9:20 p.m. And there was this group, I don't know what their show was, but there was like 30 of them, and they were all like asleep on pillars, but I thought they were ill. And they had like their flyers, and like it was part of their like, it must be a sleepy show or something. And I was like, you look ill. Like, I was concerned.
Favourite city you've ever performed in?
Edinburgh, like, of course. No, wholeheartedly. I think Edinburgh, there was this one show where I had these 4 girls in the back, and every song they lost their marbles, and it was genuine. Like, they don't know who I am, they didn't suss the show before, and they were just genuinely living their best life, and that's been my favourite so far.
Oh my God, amazing. That's good to hear. 3 words to describe the Fringe.
Chaotic. Magical. Chaotic, magical, and Scottish.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
This has been really fun, and good luck with the rest of your run.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, guys.